Well, the rumors continue about a possible trade for a superstar linebacker. Also, Rodney McLeod, remember him? Maybe he makes a return to Philadelphia as a safety. And Mel Kiper has a very weird selection for the Eagles at 10 in his latest mock draft. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Thursday. There's been some recent trade rumblings about one Devin White, the superstar linebacker of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going into the final year of his contract, the Bucs being over the cap, blah, blah, blah. And then he posted a very interesting caption, or I should say comment, on Greedy Williams' recent Instagram post that has a lot of Eagle fans wondering, could he be actually asking to be traded to Philadelphia? And while I'll be honest, this is pretty flimsy grounds, let's at least look at the sentence that got the buzz going on the Devin White to Philadelphia train. So here's a Greedy Williams tweet. You see it here on Twitter. This was found by Chris Infante, by the way, whoever that is, with the eyeball emoji. And Greedy says, Philly, with the eagle emoji. This is Greedy showing up to the the NovaCare complex for his press conference. And then you see some captions here. Jacobian00 says, oh, eagle. And then, wait, Devin White _40. Who's that? Oh, it's Devin White, the Devin White. Let's make it happen. Okay, now that could be taken simply as, hey, congrats, Greedy, you're in Philadelphia, make it happen. Have fun. You're going to figure it out in Philadelphia, become a really good cornerback. Or that's Devin White saying, let's make it happen. I want to be in Philly too. I would love to go ahead and move to Philadelphia and play for the Philadelphia Eagles and be the best middle linebacker Philadelphia has had since Jeremiah Trotter. I'll let you decide, and I'm sure you're going to be pretty mixed on this because this, to me, is very flimsy for an actual trade, happening for Devin White and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but there is at least a little bit of precedent for the idea of trading Devin White, and Bucswire does a good job of explaining what's going on here because Devin White had a cryptic social media post at the beginning of the month in March about possibly being done with the Buccaneers. Let's just break this all down. Quote, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are facing a challenging offseason full of big questions, thanks to a long list of free agents and a daunting salary cap. White is heading into the final year of his rookie deal, a fifth-year option thanks to being a first-round pick. If the Bucs were to trade him, it would save them more than $11 million in cap space this season with no dead money. That's pretty crazy. It would be also create another big hole in the depth chart, but if the Bucs keep him, they'll just sign him to a long-term contract extension that could average more than $20 million per season. Now that right there tells you Philly might be out. But he did post a cryptic Instagram post talking about how 4 years went by fast and God isn't asking you to figure it out. He's asking you to trust that he's already has. And then Rick Stroud at NFL Stroud on Twitter said, don't know what to make of this, but I'm told there are no plans by the Bucs to trade Devin White. And then White said, reflecting on how fast my first 4 years went by, def thanks to Bucs fans, good and mean ones, LOL, the upside is scary. And so on and so forth. And so this whole idea that he is demanding a trade is not true. But the caption on the Greedy Williams Instagram post does make you kind of wonder. And this goes back to what I've said all off season long. Philly's a destination. Philly's a place free agents and people that aren't free agents who just want to be traded would like to play for. And Devin White would fill a massive hole for Philadelphia. Now, I would give the validity of this 10%. I mean, maximum 10% here because what do you have to give up to get Devin White? Philadelphia doesn't have a lot of draft picks this year. And then, like the post said, you got to pay him almost $20 million a year, one of the top linebackers in the National Football League. And Howie Roseman has never been one to do that. He didn't even want to pay TJ Edwards, a little bit of money over the next couple of years. I think they like Nicholas Morrow. I really think that they are fine with Nakobe Dean, Davion Taylor, and Sean Bradley battling it out for the last two positions. This, to me, has, again, very little validity in terms of being traded, but thumbs up for the idea. I mean, imagine him, wearing that 45 in Eagles green. That would be unbelievable and would make this defense scary, scary, scary good, better than it already is. But I think you guys can agree in the comments section, the odds of this happening seemingly are pretty thin. Now, something that is not pretty thin, I think, has a good chance of happening. Comes from you, I would say Good Morning Football is where the quote comes from, but Philadelphia Eagles Central's Twitter account has the quote here. Rodney McLeod was on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network yesterday, was asked about not only returning to the National Football League, having one final year in the NFL, he is getting up there over the age of 30, and about playing for the Eagles, and he said this, quote, former Eagles safety Rodney McLeod said on GMFB that returning to the Eagles would be an amazing finish to his career. To leave and come back is the ultimate story and fairy tale, so you never know what could happen. I never could close the door. Okay, so that means that Rodney would like to come back, but does that mean that Rodney would take a, discounted price? Does that mean Howie's interested in him? Again, when you see these things come across your Twitter account, it's fun to go, oh, Rodney McLeod wants to be an Eagle. Oh, Devin White wants to be an Eagle. Not to say that they don't, but do the Eagles want these two to be Eagles? And not just because, Rodney McLeod is older, but because Philadelphia could be taking a safety at 10 and Brian Branch, or Philadelphia could be very, very content with what they did in Justin Evans. I doubt it, but still an option there nonetheless, who it would be a lot cheaper or at least a lot younger than Rodney McLeod. And so while I think this has a lot higher chance of happening than Devin White, I think the two of them combined together probably have a 20% chance of actually happening. So do with that as you will. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section, but I think McLeod would at least give you a veteran presence back there, which is sorely lacking based on the fact that Reed Blankenship is going to be one of the starters in Philadelphia, and the other might be, often injured Justin Evans with all the Achilles issues. So we shall see. But thumbs up for the idea. I think we all love Rodney and what he did for Philadelphia back in 2017. Okay, finally, let's go back to the mock draft here, as Mel Kiper has his new first-round prediction, and it's pretty good, but it also has some flaws, and the flaw mainly is Philadelphia at 10. I'll show you. Here's your top 10. C.J. Stroud 1. I would agree with that. Bryce Young 2. I would agree with that. Indy comes up here, and they take Will Levis. Now, that's a hot take, but we'll let Mel be Mel here. I like Mel Kiper, too. I don't think he's bad, but that's probably Anthony Richardson over Levis, but what are you going to do? Arizona takes Will Anderson, very likely. Anthony Richardson to Seattle would make some sense just because Geno Smith's contract is really only a one-year commitment, as Mel Kiper points out, so you could kind of have the bridge quarterback and let Anthony Richardson, who's still very raw, have some time to develop. Remember, Josh Allen wasn't very good his first season, then was great in year 2, so I get that there. Jalen Carter to the Lions at 6, interesting, but really they did add some secondary help with Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, so they go defensive line here on what was a very bad run defense last season, so again, very likely. Christian Gonzalez to the Raiders at 7, could also be Will Levis if the Richardson thing works out. Devin Witherspoon to 8 to the Atlanta Falcons, that could make some sense. Chicago gets Paris Johnson, the tackle from Ohio State, and then Philly gets Peter Skoronski, the hybrid tackle guard out of Northwestern, and it's like, oh, that's no fun. We talked about this yesterday on the Wednesday Link Live with Josh Davis and myself at the Philly Special Show. And again, Skoronski's a great player, but do you really take somebody who can be an excellent left tackle for the next 10 years in a year where you don't need a left tackle and you still have Lane Johnson? Like, the only way this makes sense is if you have the Kelsey situation where Kelsey's going into probably his last year. You take Cam Jurgens, you let Jurgens sit, and then move forward. But is Lane Johnson retiring next year? I just don't think that that's going to happen. And I really think number 10 needs to be an instant impact player, whether it's a pass rusher, defensive lineman, cornerback, running back maybe. We'll see where Bijan goes in this mock draft. Safety is a need. Not linebacker because there aren't very many good ones in this draft, but still, this to me was surprising. Give me your thoughts on Skoronski. I just don't think this is going to happen at 10. I'd be very surprised. It's a Howie-like move, but if they go on the trenches or go into the trenches, it's going to be defensive line, not O-line, because O-line is a massive strength, and Jurgens is going to be fine at right tackle. So, weird one here. Now, Tyree Wilson, again, this is why it's weird. Are they going to pass on Tyree Wilson at 10 and let the Tennessee Titans get him at 11? I just don't see that happening. Nolan Smith goes 12 to the Houston Texans. Broderick Jones goes 13 to the Jets. Joey Porter Jr. goes 14 to the Patriots. Lucas Van Ness, another option for Philly at 10, goes 15 to the Packers. Emmanuel Forbes goes 16 to the Commanders. Deontay Banks goes 17 to the Steelers. Michael Mayer goes to the Lions at 18. Darrell Wright and Jackson Smith and Jiba, interesting there, at number 20 to the Seattle Seahawks. Dalton Kincaid, the tight end, goes to the Chargers. Zay Flowers goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Quentin Johnston, very curious to see where the massive wide receiver from TCU goes. He goes to the Minnesota Vikings. They seemingly have a plethora at wide receiver there. I know Adam Thielen left, but Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne is earning a bigger role in this Minnesota offense. Be very interesting. Will McDonald there at 24 to the Jaguars. Jordan Addison, obviously, to the Giants. That'd be a pretty good pickup. And then the Cowboys here pass on Bijan. They go with the pass rusher from Northwestern, and then Bijan Robinson becomes a Buffalo Bill. Okay. If Bijan falls past Dallas at 26, Philly will come get him based on the 30th round draft pick, trade that number 2 next year away, or the number 3 this year and go up and get Bijan. There's no way Bijan falls this far, but if he were to get in this range, I would think Philly would at least take a look and a good, long, hard look at trading up for Bijan, but that's just me. Philly, getting down to number 30, would take Elijah Cansey, a very popular pick, mocked to the Eagles at number 30 overall. They basically call him Aaron Donald, again, because he looks exactly the same as Aaron Donald in terms of height and weight and stature. He also went to Pitt as well as Aaron Donald did. I don't think he's going to fall all the way to 30, but if you were to come out of here with maybe Bijan at 10 and Cansey at 30, I think Eagle fans, including myself, would be very excited about that, and I'm not really a fan of taking Bijan at 10, but still, Cansey looks like a beast at D-tackle and could be great rotating in there with Jordan Davis and Milton Williams. So fine with that, and obviously, there you go, the defensive end from Kansas State rounding out the top 30, or 31. So there's some very correct picks here. I think his top 10 is pretty darn accurate, but after that, it gets a little bit squirrely in terms of, Skoronski going to Philadelphia at 10, Bijan falling to 27. I just don't buy it, and so, again, mock drafts are mock drafts for a reason. You're supposed to kind of, play with ideas and play with the idea of what if they pass on this guy and take that guy. I don't know. We'll see. But that was Mel's latest first-round mock draft. Love to hear your thoughts and give me your take for who Philly will take at number 10. All right, plenty more stuff happening next couple of days and weeks. Monday, massive announcement on Monday. It's officially happening on Monday, okay? They're sitting right there, but you can't see them yet. Monday, we're going to drop something that I think you guys are really going to enjoy, so subscribe, thumbs up, and stay tuned for that. We'll play more content next couple of days. Maybe a Jalen Hurts' contract extension happens soon. Who knows? I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.